Did you hear about using your favorite sentence, which is called a passphrase, as a password? That is secure and memorable. What about using a different sentence for each provider? If you could manage it, it might not be memorable. There is a simple and effective way to create passwords using keyboard patterns that are secure, memorable, and different for each platform you use. Having a different password for every platform is extremely important, and I'll explain exactly why. Creating a password with a keyboard pattern. 1. Think in patterns and avoid dictionary words. 2. Use keys that are easy to reach for speed. 3. Use double consonants to make your password more secure. I'll explain more about that later. The first step is to write down the providers and apps for which we need passwords. Next, write down a unique part for each provider. You can use other parts at your wish. However, I would avoid the fourth character, as some companies have shorter names. I also do not recommend taking the first and second characters. It is better to take the second and then the first, as shown in the table on the right. Now, let's create some password examples for Microsoft 365. We will use the second letter in uppercase, which is 2i. We will add it in the middle, but you could also add it at the end. Our keyboard is an International English keyboard. You may have a keyboard with umlauts, which would allow you to use them. Using umlauts increases password security. Please think in terms of patterns rather than words. Real words are extremely dangerous because attackers use dictionary lists. The first part should have about 6 letters. For the second part, we need at least one number and one special character. For better password security, avoid grouping numbers together and never use dates or years. As you can see, we often use double consonants, maybe even too often. Although this has many advantages, it is even a little more secure. We use double characters mainly for the following reasons. We extend the password and type quickly. Colleagues nearby could not see if you type a letter once or twice. A word created this way will probably not be found in any dictionary. Attention please. Do not use any password that is shown here. As soon as a password is published on the internet, it becomes insecure. The attacker will have these passwords. These passwords are only created for demonstration purposes. Let's talk now about the password security. First, we will see some weak passwords that are usually used. These passwords shown here are really weak. I will show you that hackers could crack such passwords in seconds. These passwords are still valid on most Windows AD servers, as shown on the screenshot of GPO default policy. Such settings may also be valid for Microsoft 365 in a hybrid environment. As mentioned, these passwords are weak. As the table shows, a hacker could crack them in a very short time. The main reason is that they contain dictionary words. Now, let's compare them with the 3 generated passwords. Wow! In theory, it would take more than 1,000 years to crack them. In practice, they are uncrackable. Note the differences in password length. Hackers do not use the standard hardware that we use for everyday work. They use hardware optimized for their destructive work, like this. Now, let's see how hackers can crack your password. An attacker could access the platform and steal the whole user database. This has already happened, and it happens every day. For example, in January 2026, there was a major breach involving 149 million stolen usernames and passwords from multiple providers. In that case, the hackers would obtain usernames and password hashes. Then, they perform an offline attack on the hash using rule-based attacks. With such rules they search for common passwords, common names, and dictionary words. Their software adds numbers and special characters to common words. In the case of our generated passwords, there cannot be any rules for finding them, so all possible combinations must be searched. Therefore, it could take thousands of years to crack them. This all explains the huge difference in cracking times of these passwords, shown in the table. What can you do to keep your password secure? 1. The most of the work has been done by creating your own password using the keyboard pattern. 2. Use for every provider a different password. If you lose your password, usually due to a phishing attack, change it. The other passwords must not be changed. The reason is that, even for humans, the password differs only in 1 or 2 signs. Such passwords as hash are 100% different. Can you see that these 2 passwords as a hash differ only in 1 sign? If hackers get the password, they see only these hashes. 3. You can remember all these passwords since you know your own rules to create them. If not, please save it in the password manager like KeePass. 4. Regarding phishing, never click on links in emails that ask you to log in. Open the website manually, then sign in. 5. If you are a victim of phishing or malware, or if you are not sure your password is safe, you should change it, even if you use MFA. Not all MFA methods are equally strong. If you use weaker options, like SMS, an attacker who already has your password could use SIM swap attack and receive the MFA codes themselves. We all need to do more to improve IT security, even knowing it can never be 100%. Attackers want to reach their goals with as little effort as possible. If breaking into your account or organization takes too much time or work, they are more likely to move on and look for an easier target.